wind
wind
last
and
night, too.
don't
Yeah.
leave out the wind. Wind, so it's coming in sideways.
Lost power 3 times last night. Like, what
How's
the
the
hell's
rain and
going
wind
on?
out where you are?
It's just fine, nice and warm. Can watch all the games in peace without worrying about extra noise.
Yeah, I don't know how they got me back here. It's so hard when you
You're
go
fine.
east.
You're a New Yorker.
When you go, I am. But when you go east to west and you live in L.A.,
You're saying
especially if
soft.
you live in L.A. with some dough, I got to say it. Like, it's different because anywhere you go is like, you gotta make ends
Jay.
meet. But if you're working in entertainment in L.A.,
Shut up. I don't want to see your nasty feet. Put the toe sandals down.
Flip-flops, baby.
matter of fact, I heard someone say recently, like, so let me get this straight. So L.A., they're trying to down it. It's like if you don't have a high-paying job, it's like you're living in Queens, but the weather's nice. And I'm thinking to myself, that sounds good. Right? Like, you live in it's Queens, like, make the weather 300 days of sun and 70-plus degrees in Queens. Everyone's like, yeah, that's a fresh place to live.
Just feel
The
like I
only
can't
bad
get
thing
anywhere
right
anyway.
now is that there's no Lakers playing in the post, and that's the only thing. So I got to root for somebody else now.
Yeah. Who you root for?
You know I'm switching to. I'm Golden State
Golden
now.
State, California.
Yeah, I'm all Golden State, baby.
See, sometimes
You got a big state to work with,
sometimes
man.
you want to
You know?
find that other team from your area-ish, and then it reps where you're from. And other times it's like there's
Yeah, I'm
too
gonna rep
much
the
envy.
I'm gonna rep the state. Jay knows my philosophy on that. If the Lakers are out,
You're gonna
I
not the
go up-
Clippers.
Not the Clippers.
no, I don't mess with the
Right.
Clippers. No, it's like UCLA. I don't mess with UCLA.
Right.
But I'm going all the way up to the Bay Area. I'm gonna grab
can
that.
respect that.
And if the Sacramento Kings was in it, I grabbed them too.
Yeah.
If they were.
You go
If-
Sixers.
if
you go
was a
Sixers.
fifth.
If the Nets aren't in it, you go Sixers.
No.
Just basic area. I do.
I don't mess with Philly.
I
like
would.
that.
I
don't
like
mess
to
with
sit-
Philly like that.
But I feel that the way Keith
Easy.
feels about Golden State. Not that it's in
No,
state.
but you can't. But you
it's
can't
close
do
enough.
that. You can't do that though, Max, because it's not in state.
Not in
No,
state.
but New York is not like that. Anyone other than your home team in your area, you're going to root against them. Like, I'm not going to root for the Buffalo Bills because they're supposedly the New York team. They're upstate.
See, but
New
it's
York.
just different, though, because you talked about this the other day. Being from Jersey,
Yeah.
Central Jersey, we feel like we're part of the New York area.
Yeah.
Like South Jersey feels like they're part of Philly and PA and all that, how it works. So I can never rock with Philly like that. I mean, I respect Philly. I got love for them. AI, the grit.
But you're not going to root for the Celtics if the Nets drop out. Can't root for
I
Boston.
wouldn't root for Philly either.
So who would you root for?
I wouldn't root at all. I would just watch.
Right. Yeah, but you can't help who you root for. It just happens.
Well, NBA is different now because we root for individual players.
Yeah, that's
like
good.
I would root for Jason Tatum because that's my dude.
Embiid was speaking of the Sixers. Embiid was, man, he's like, talk about well-rounded center skills. Who's ever played the position with more well-rounded skills? Again, like, I don't mean for their era, how great they are. I mean well-rounded skills, both sides of the ball. Whoa.
Nobody.
Right. So he was talking about, you heard the sound coming in, him and Nick Nurse were getting into it, Embiid and Nick Nurse, and Embiid was asked about what he said to Nick Nurse during the game.
Oh man, he's a great coach. Obviously, I got what he's been able to accomplish, and I've always been a big fan. But I told him respectfully, told him to stop my calls because I saw what he said last game.
So that's Embiid. This is what Nick Nurse had to say about what happened.
Saying to me that, I'm going to keep making all the free throws if you keep fouling me. And I said, well, you might have to. Good player, man. I got a lot of respect for him. He's certainly playing great here. There's nothing there, but us trying to compete against him and him trying to compete against us.
Time for Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Jay, Embiid, what can you say about the guy?
That he is a dominant force, and the footwork is uniquely different. Look, this is who James Harden needs to be in order for this team to win a championship. I'm talking about the James Harden that scores 14 points, 14 to 20 points, the guy that doesn't take 25 shots. Last night he took 9. He could be more efficient, 3 of 9. 7 and 8 from the free throw line. He could be more efficient from the three-point line. But pass first, point guard, James Harden, where Tyrese Maxey goes off. Tobias Harris is giving you points. Joel Embiid, 19 points in the first quarter. This is the equation for the 76ers to win a world championship. Not James Harden dancing with the ball 9,000 times, getting up 35 jacks. He needs to be this version of himself for this team to be the best version of themselves to win it all.
Well, I think that he's buying into what Doc Rivers is selling. Clearly, you could tell based on his style of play has shifted from when he was at Brooklyn or Houston or even the first several games when he got to beat the Sixers. Now, all of a sudden, he is playing the guard position. He is distributing the ball, getting out the way, not sitting there, dribble, step back. I mean, he did it once or twice last night for the most part, but it wasn't all game long. He allowed Embiid to do what he needed to do. And then you mentioned Maxey. Obviously, he stepped up to the plate. His game is turned into a whole nother world. So I think for the Sixers, though, they got to continue to keep that up. This is round one. It is Toronto. It gets tougher as it goes on.
I got to tell you right now, though, based on what you guys are talking about, I think Philly, I didn't think they really had a championship window this year. I changed my mind. I think they're very live to win it all because of Maxey's emergence on the biggest stage. He's gotten better and better throughout his short career so far, this season included, and now has taken it to another level. And what this does is, what you just said, Jay, now Harden just sets up teammates and he can hit a shot here and there. The pressure is no longer on James Harden to hit the big shot in the big moment to win the game for you, because he has not done that throughout his career in the playoffs because of Maxey's emergence. And now Tobias Harris is your fourth option on offense?
Oh, I still think the pressure will be there, but I think this time around, James Harden actually will have the legs. Like, let's not act like when before in Brooklyn playing with injury. In Houston, he always played so many minutes and had to do so much. Now you get a lot more hockey assists, right? He'll kick the ball up to Tyrese. Tyrese will drive, penetrate, kick it to Tobias for a three. That's how you want to play. That's the continuity that Philly really needs. And you need his legs to be there when you need him the most.
Can they win the whole thing right now?
I mean, look, they're beating up on a depleted Toronto team, but they're doing what they have to do. I would have them favored against Miami. I mean, I think they have a legit chance to win the whole thing.
You know, I'd like to see him against Milwaukee. You know, I really would like to see him against Milwaukee.
Yeah. Eastern Conference
Milwaukee
Finals.
It'll tell me a lot, just because you got Giannis over there, you got Middleton, you got Drew Holiday. I mean, it'll be a different feel.
That's it. That's if Milwaukee gets through Boston or Brooklyn.
But Milwaukee and Boston are the two teams, right? They function like well-oiled machines. They're well-coached. They've played together for a while. And on top of that, they have high-end superstars who you believe, you can win a title with that guy as your best player. Whereas Boston, and to an extent Philadelphia, are more collection of talent trying to figure out how to be a team. But Philly, I think, is a little closer to that than Brooklyn.
The only thing I would say that for Philly and Milwaukee key that you mentioned is that Brook Lopez, I don't see him stopping Joel Embiid, but it's still a physical big body that you can put in front. I don't know who they have that can stop Giannis, right? Like, nobody's stopping. Giannis is the biggest outlier in the entire league, it feels like.
So it's going to be a wash then between Giannis and Embiid. Those two will be a wash.
They've had some great matchups over the last couple of years. Like, they've gotten each other too. But it's always they both put up monster numbers. And by the way, you give the MVP to either one of those guys. You know, like Jokic, Giannis, Embiid. You give the MVP to any one of those guys.
We gotta have a conversation about Jokic today. Serious conversation about Jokic.
Straight
today.
Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. That's Alan Yates, Sixers fan on the soundboard. Look, you got baby Keyshawn in the playoffs, according to Jay. That's in the Eastern Conference. In the Western Conference.
Western Conference, Minnesota.
Oh, excuse me.
I got you.
Western Conference. I was thinking of the Philly game. In the Western Conference playoffs that we just saw, Steph Curry, you might have a baby Steph too. And Jay's going to tell you about the impact that can have on the Golden State Warriors. We're back in less than 2 minutes. ESPN Radio, ESPN2.
The Golden State Warriors are the team to beat, period. The way that they share the basketball.
I don't think the window is closed quite yet. And I actually think this window could extend for another couple years.
This is Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.